Alrighty then, in this video, it is the last of the spreader video. I rented this spreader from Zimmerman Farm Service out in Bethel, Pennsylvania. $250 a day. I didn't feel it was terrible, and they were very nice about how you rented it. So if you picked it up today and you got home, it was too late to spread, be honest, but if you use it that night, just be honest with them and things will go smoothly. I am an honest person, and I actually paid for the 3.5 days that I used it. He says, "So, do we have you for 3 days?" I said, "Well, I used it a half a day, if that's okay with you." He says, "Yeah, we'll do half days." So, if it decides to rain tomorrow and you have the spreader, you tell them, "Hey, give them a call. It's raining. I can't use the spreader today." Well, that's fine. Just make sure that you can either get your job done, because they schedule this thing. Anyways, to purchase that thing, it's around $42,000. I find that to be probably average for these manure spreaders, and they're not your average manure spreader. I don't have regurgitation or acid reflux. I just drank coffee too fast and I have air coming up, so don't worry about my esophageal cancer like Andy Detweiler. He's a good guy and he'll probably make it just fine. He has a very optimistic attitude. It does worry me though sometimes, because I do have heartburn like he has. Anyway, with that being said, I'll let you watch the video and we will move on to the comment section at the very end. If you are in the market for a new manure spreader, I would recommend this one. Hydro Pushes are great, but they're very long, and I don't really have a problem with Hydro Pushes. I've never used one, but, well, did I use one? I did use one time. It's been a long-ass time ago, but no problems with it. The problem with the Hydro Push is that you can't seem to set the pusher slow enough, and the gate has to be all the way up, which with the gate being all the way up, the manure will slab off, or the material you have will slab off, and you'll have big gobs of it shooting out the back. That's kind of why I like the chain or the drag chain design, because you can set that gate to a certain height, set your speed, and it will just go out and curl over the back and then all go out. And that's one of the reasons why, if I was to buy one of these, it would be a Pickrite, but it would be the bigger model. Bigger model's about $60,000. But I don't know how much material I'm going to be spreading on a yearly basis to justify, that type of an investment. So, I don't know. Anyways, enjoy. Today's a spreading day. Got the sun behind me, so I'm sorry about that. But today's a spreading day. We're going to get the remainder of this stuff spread out, because Zimmerman is called. They've got another guy that needs this spreader, and I need to get done. And the distance that I have to haul this is kind of great. It's a great distance. But what am I going to do? I have to do it. It's got to get done. We really don't have much to do yet, or I don't have much to do yet. Maybe 4 or 5 semi loads of materials left here. Yeah, so I'll leave this run. It should probably calibrate by the time I'm done here. But we had a lot of wind last night, kind of a cool evening. This stuff here, when we brought it in, I don't want to get too close to it, it could fall over and get me. If you can see it, we brought it in and we pushed it up on a pile. Me and Dad and Timothy did. And we packed it down tight like silage. I mean, really like silage. And it hasn't decayed. It's been here for a year. It's been here for over a year now. And it needs to get on. It is ripe to get on. So the amount of nutrition in this thing per ton, if I put 2 tons to the acre, I will really only need to put a small amount of potash phosphate to the acre, and obviously I will need nitrogen to do this, because you got to have nitrogen no matter what. And I'm gonna let this thing warm up while I talk. So you got to have nitrogen to make the corn grow. So what I'm gonna do, what I am doing or have been doing, is I'm not putting 2 tons to the acre. I'm putting more like 5 tons to the acre. And we're going to push this corn. I'm looking at I really want to get over 250 bushels to the acre. I'd love to get 200. I'm going to push for 250. 300 bushels isn't out of the question, to be quite honest with you, if the weather is right on this ground. So I'm supposed to have lime coming. I have to make a phone call this morning to find out where in the hell that's at. And a little later today, I'm going to have Timothy chisel plowing over there because this stuff needs to get chiseled in before it rains. So I'm going to see if I can get a spreader, because my spreader is not functioning yet. I'll see if I can get a spreader and some, you know, something like a 1919 or some shit like that. I don't know. I know what I want to put down. I don't need 1919. I just need potash, really. Phosphate's really pretty decent over there, but not great, but it's decent. So, but I'm gonna need a fair amount of potash anyway. So I'm thinking 1919 or something like a 10, 24, 23, 23, 5 or some shit like that. I need sulfur. I'm low on sulfur, even though there's sulfur in this. But anyway, tractor's warmed up enough. We'll just get her going. You know, a minute or so is enough to get it going. This is the 8120. A lot of people are asking how I'm making out with the Westendorf loader. It's working just fine. It is a slower loader than the John Deere, but it's working just fine. I'm getting by with it just fine. Would I recommend one of these? Yeah, I would. My biggest problem is that valve. And they sent me valve replacement part for inside that valve, and it seems to be working better, but still a very slow loader. And I don't think it's the valve that's causing it to be slow. I think it's actually the hydraulic cylinders. And because they're a proprietary cylinder, I absolutely hate these cylinders. I would change them. If I had the, I have zero down pressure with these cylinders, and it's a slow return because they use the center of the shaft as the down pressure, and that hole is only like a 3/4 inch hole or 3/4 inch ram in the inside. And I've had these apart before. I just don't like them. But anyway, let me get to work. What the hell are you doing, Tim?
Hooking up the shit spreader.
Shit spreader? We got a shit spreader?
Yeah.
You're getting gray and bald. What the hell's the matter?
Shit.
What? The hair?
I'm bald.
Yeah, you look like me. Actually, it comes from your mother's side of the family.
Grandfather.
Yeah, he's a bald man. He went bald fairly young too. Anyway, all right. So I was gonna have this thing cleaned up, spit and polished for these guys, because that's the way I like to leave the equipment, and you know, to return it. And they called me this morning and they're like, hey, you bringing that spreader back? I said, yeah, I got to work with it tomorrow. It's the last day. We did a total of 3 days with it, and yeah, we got it. And I said, well, I want to clean it up before I bring it back. And he says, no, don't worry about it. It's going right to the field. He says it's going to go right to the field. I said, well, I can't leave it in the state that it is. And he says, don't worry about it. He said, just make sure there's nothing hanging off of it, you know, like strings and shit. He says, and that'd be fine. He said, a little bit of dirt isn't going to make much of a difference. So I got this edger gizmo, and I'm just going along. And I got to tell you, I'm paying $250 a day for this machine. And Zimmerman, I called him because we had, what did we have, 3 days of rain? Yeah, I picked it up a week ago yesterday, and I've used it for 3 days because we've had just days of rain, and yeah, it's just been unbearable here for the weather. But the wind has blown all day, today, all night last night, and today I just want to clean it up. I just hate leaving them. I hate sending it back with dirt on it. Yeah.
Oh, check this out. I found this out.
What is it?
Well,
is it bad?
a greaser.
Oh, I think they're up top too. Well, guess what? You know where the grease gun is, right?
Yep.
Go get it.
On bottoms.
Yeah, they're on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, you see?
Yeah. Okay, so those are grease zerks. We missed those. So they're for couplers. They probably don't need much grease, but they should. We're going to grease it before it goes back. So Tim's going to get the grease gun. Here's a grease zerk. You got to be careful with these things because they're just everywhere. And I just wanted to let everybody know that if you want to rent one of these and you're local to me or somewheres in central to eastern Pennsylvania, Zimmerman's did a really, you know, they're really good to work with. So if you don't have the weather and you have this thing on site, they're not going to charge you for the day that it's sitting, which I found to be quite honorable. You know, it's not too often that you get a company that'll be like, oh yeah, no, we understand it's raining. You'll get them, hey, you got it, you're paying for it. At least that's the way it is in New Jersey. I don't know what it's like around the rest of the country, but in New Jersey, that's the way it is. You got it, you're paying for it. I don't really want to scrape too much of this up because it will take the paint off. I just don't want to be going down the road and having chunks fall off and hitting cars. So let's do this, ready? So we're good. Tim's going to go ahead and get the, you don't want to go down the road with this thing at 60 miles an hour with dirt in your rims either, because you know what will happen? You'll get out of balance. Throw you off the road. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it would. Love to just throw you off the road. Anyway. Do. And this is how we're just going to scrape it off here. I'm telling you right now, I don't really feel comfortable about even taking this thing back dirty like this. But that's what James said. James Zimmerman, he said, God, just leave it dirty. He says, it's fine. You know, and I guess he's right. They are just going to go ahead and, they're going to go ahead and put it right to the field. So the next farmer that grabs it, he's just going to make it dirty again anyway. And that'll be that. But the end gate has these grease zerks on them. There's like 4 of them up and down there. And what I like about this thing is when you pick the gate up, those things close. They close right up like nothing. And I had a piece of cable that was in there, came around and wrapped around this thing, and it just laid into me like a badger, man. It got me. Ugh. Here's a couple of them, but excuse me, I got corona. The last thing we did spread was eggshells. Yeah, eggshells. I have a farm that has eggshells on it that the previous farmer had left there. So I wanted to, excuse me, I wanted to go, what the hell is wrong with this here? I'm dying. I wanted to see how they'd spread. So that's what we did. Are you sure that that's where the Zerk is?
Yeah, I just saw it.
You could see it?
I saw it in that one.
Did you grease that one?
I should have cooked when it was greasing it. Right there.
Alright, that's it. So yeah. Yeah. So I'll just kind of clean these up a little bit with my hands. So these things close up so that none of that shit that's slinging out the back, because it comes around, especially if you get a string. And this was the other amazing thing. I couldn't tell you how many strings, baling strings, that we ran through this spreader. And I am not kidding you. Hundreds of them. And it turned to that. Just garbage. I mean, there's a little bit here. This one here was hanging down here on this divider. So I'm shocked. I really am. I'm just totally blown away. But yeah, what I'm going to do, Tim, I'm going to go check my lights real quick, make sure that they do come on. And then I'm going to put this thing away as soon as I get some of this other dirt off of here. Yeah, we didn't do any damage to it. I was actually worried about hitting this thing with the front end loader. This is what I was afraid of, because every once in a while when you're coming in, the front of that 8120 gets right up and underneath here, and I was afraid I was going to hit it, but no damage. We did pretty good, no damage. And yeah, but what I was saying about Zimmerman's, they're really good. It's a good dealer to work with. They're Case IH, they're not John Deere, but they do definitely they definitely are pretty reliable dealership, and they full service. I mean, I was really pleased with this. And honestly, if I get more of this material, I'm probably going to buy one of these. I'll see if I can get a bigger model. But yeah, I would totally buy one of these if I could, if I need it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get a truck driver to bring some to me. some more to me. And yeah, don't forget those things here. And I'll bet there's grease zerks here. No, there's not. For that end gate, I thought there would be. But yep. So he's gonna do that. He's gonna definitely get this done. Did you fill up this? Did you do this one? Still grease in it. You hear that? I greased it this morning. There's still grease in it. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Oh. Anyway, yeah. If you're looking for a tube line, or if you're looking for a manure spreader, tube line. I had zero problems. How many loads? We spread about 40 semi-loads of compost with this thing.
I'm surprised the pile's gone.
The pile's gone. Yeah, well, I worked my ass off today. I got up at 5 this morning. I hit the road with this thing at about 7:15, and I just got done. And what time is it now? It's got to be 7. 7:20, 12 hours. I've been in this 12 hours. Today, in that 12-hour time, it's 35 to 40 minutes for a round trip, depending on what part of that farm I was in. 35 to 40 minutes. So today I did probably, I don't know, I probably did somewhere around 15, 16 round trips with this thing. And it holds, I swear to God, this thing holds 10 tons, 10 to 12 tons. Between 10 and 12 tons loaded with wet stuff. And I packed it, heaped it and packed it too, didn't I?
Yeah.
I certainly did. Anyway, I guess I'm going to put my tool away, and that's it. Tomorrow, this is my Chariot. I'm going home. I'm taking it home, taking it back. I got to get some parts as well. So, yeah, on the other day's video, the best April Foolers video. See, when I did the April Fool's joke, it really wasn't that well planned out, and it just came to me. I think I did an incredible job of fooling a lot of people, and it actually cost me a shit ton of subscribers, which I am okay with. But as I looked at it, I thought to myself, you know, there was a song years and years and years ago, before I was born even. This song was by the Bee Gees, and it was called I Started a Joke, which got the whole world crying. You know that song? So on Instagram, I actually posted the loss of subscribers, which I believe was, it said a negative of 117. It has bounced back up, but still. Anyway, yeah, so I guess the joke was on me. Alan Goog says, you can't say this isn't an April Fool, so don't title yourself the best, Muppet. I don't know what that means, but in a joke or a practical joke, you can pretty much say anything as long as it does not harm another human being. Ken65, can't believe how many people fell for the April Fool's edition. You know, quite honestly, me neither. Really, honestly, me neither. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't that good. For Gage, I think he got the most responses to his. He said nursing homes are expensive and they do not treat the elderly very well in general. I would have to agree with that. My lovely wife, Teresa, used to work in a nursing home, actually a couple of them. She was a CNA, and the level of care that's in those is very minimal, let's put it that way. You have the nurse, you have the CNA, you have doctors that are in there, and the CNAs have a time slot that they have to fill, and they have floors that they have to do, because the ones that she worked in were multi-level, and she was on a certain floor, and there were so many residents on those floors, and in her shift, she had to complete everything that needed to be done within that floor in that certain amount of time. And Teresa's very time motivated. She had a watch, and she would say, okay, I've got 18 beds I have to change, and a lot of these beds have to be changed with people in them. She never dropped a patient, but there are other people, and she's small. I mean, what is she, 110 pounds? You know, she's small, but she was able to change sheets and beds and clean everything and make sure that they were taken care of in that shift time in a very efficient manner. And she tried to do it as quickly as possible so she could go back and spend a little bit of time with each patient. Yes, I agree with you, Gage. I just, if my kids want to throw me into a nursing home, I will have my 357 Magnum under the pillow with 2 bullets in it. One for the asshole that's trying to put me in the nursing home, and the other one for myself. So, there you go. Ado 239. Well played, Wes. You still plan on getting a Big M for hay operation? No. The problems that are going on right now with the dreaded malady, as I call it, is putting a damper on a lot of things. They've cut back the amount of straw that they're going to use. I've been not hauling to the mushroom companies now for better than 2 weeks, and it's not looking any better. This week I'm allowed to bring 3 loads in, not 10. So we're behind, and we're going to be behind, and this is going to hit me in about a month's time. In a month's time, it's going to hit me pretty hard, because half a month of 3 weeks of no real income, yeah, that's going to get pretty tough. So I have to borrow money, and I have to borrow money because this is the time of year when I got to spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, just like every other farmer. I did my baling twine purchase here the other day, and it was over $37,000 for baling twine, and that's not all that I'm going to need this year. Diesel fuel, you don't even want to know the amount of money I got to spend in diesel fuel. So, yeah, it's tough. No Big M. Alrighty then, anyway, this has been too long, 21 minutes for God's sakes. Actually, it's going to be 24 minutes. I'm glad everybody is back. Anybody that had unsubscribed was probably teetering on the edge anyway, and that's fine. I mean, I'm okay with it, because this channel isn't about how many subscribers I can get, or how much money I can make, or how many sponsors I can get, even though I get sponsors, people trying to get me to be their sponsor, or trying to sponsor me on pretty much a daily basis. I don't want that. I don't want to be owned by some company like FBN or, there was, God, there's so many of them. I even had a truck company trying to get me to drive their truck. And I was like, well, it'd be nice to have a new truck, but I don't really care for those import vehicles. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Have a great day. If you're not already having a great day, just make it a great day.